Breaking news on the Ravens rundown today as the Baltimore Ravens have parted ways with offensive coordinator Greg Roman after 4 seasons. Roman's contract had expired, and so he's not officially fired, but they are not bringing him back. You can kind of connect the dots and fill in the rest from there. So with that, it was a decision that had to be made as the Ravens offense had just fallen off, was not what it was when Greg Roman arrived as the team's offensive coordinator 4 years ago. We'll show you some statistics and all of that and more in just a moment. But first, let's go to the statement from Ravens head coach John Harbaugh that was released within this hour, stating, Greg has led the development and success of a record-setting offense in Baltimore for several seasons. He is a tremendous football coach as well as a family man in person. Greg devised and led our offense to no fewer than 26 historical NFL and franchise achievements. He established an identity for our offense. We are grateful for Greg's great work and abilities and wish him well and his wonderful family the utmost happiness going forward. That is John Harbaugh with the statement on Greg Roman. And remember, this, I think, just even most recently, we all can attest to the red zone offense struggles. Why was J.K. Dobbins not getting the football more in that last game against the Cincinnati Bengals? And the way that this offense has fallen off, I mean, things were sitting pretty. They were really good when Greg Roman showed up in 2019, Lamar's MVP season, when they averaged 33.18 points per game. That was first in the National Football League. 2020 wasn't bad as they were at 29.25, seventh in the league. 2021 at 22.76, 17th in the league. But then this past season fell all the way to 19th at 20.58 points per game. Every single year Greg Roman was in Baltimore, the offense got worse. And at the end of the day, the Baltimore Ravens deserved better than what they were given with Greg Roman in his tenure in Baltimore. I understand that Greg was successful at one point in time, but eventually you can't just settle for mediocrity. And that's what the Ravens have decided to go forward with, is that what they saw as of late, the direction this offense had gone from where it was a few years ago was not good enough. And it's time for a change of scenery. It's time to do something different. I have some replacement options. We'll get to also some solutions when it comes to the offensive scheme that I have for in just a few moments from right now. But first, this is your chance to chime in here on the Ravens Rundown. What is your one-word reaction to the Ravens essentially firing Greg Roman here? Give me one word to describe what you think of this decision by the Ravens to move on without Greg Roman going forward. Let me know in the comment section. Give me one word to describe it all. Folks, this is why you subscribe to the Ravens Rundown. For the latest happenings with your favorite team, we have you covered as we are all over the Baltimore Ravens. I told you months ago that this needed to happen. We did our perfect offseason video just a few days ago, and I said, Baltimore, please, it's not too late. Move on from Greg Roman, and by golly, they listened to me. So that is why you should subscribe to the channel, because we know this team. We have you covered. Subscribe now, youtube.com/RavensTV. Now, whoever is the new offensive coordinator, I'll tell you this right here and right now. The Ravens have to pass the football more. And whether Lamar Jackson is back or not, no matter what, you have to have a vertical passing game. And what we saw last year, I understand the receiving core was cheeks. There was not very good receivers beyond Mark Andrews, and Rashad Bateman was out most of the year. But I don't care. You got to be able to pass the football in today's National Football League. And what we saw this past season was not good enough. Mark Andrews led the Ravens in receiving with 847 yards. That was a down year for him, had 5 touchdown catches. And then Demarcus Robinson, who the Raiders let go of. Yes, that same Raiders team, coached by Josh McDaniels, that was awful this year, he wasn't good enough to play for. And he was the top receiver in Baltimore? Yes. So, with that said, those numbers that you see there, they are pathetic. Got to pass the football more, no matter what, in this next offensive scheme, and have to improve the receivers out there. It's got to be done. And I'll say this. I think that this improves the chances of the Ravens keeping Lamar Jackson. It shows that Baltimore is being aggressive, that they're not going to be content, that they're doing the best that they can to win football games, that they saw what they had in Greg Roman was not good enough, that Lamar Jackson in particular needed a new offensive coordinator, needed a fresh set of eyes there. To me, this says that the Ravens are more likely to keep Lamar Jackson around for the long term by making this move, in my humble opinion. Now, what do you think? With this being done, another factor involved here. Will the Ravens keep Lamar Jackson? Will he play for them next season? If you think so, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. Let me know in the comments section below if you think this helps the Ravens' chances of keeping Lamar around. So let me go over my list of top Greg Roman replacement options. And the first two names are in-house within the Ravens. T. Martin, the Ravens receiving coach, a really good college player at the University of Tennessee. And T. Martin, I think with him, the same can be said for James Urban, the Ravens quarterback coach, is that if you are going to hire somebody in-house, you cannot keep the same scheme in place, period. And it's almost like a guilt by association type thing, okay? If you are, I think, it's like being an accomplice of some sorts, okay? They were a part of the problem with Greg Roman's bad scheme and the way things went wrong the last couple of seasons, right? If they're going to stay around and either on staff or be promoted to OC, you have to understand that what happened before, that doesn't fly here. We're doing something different. So either adapt or die. That's what it comes down to. What are you going to do? Those guys, if T. Martin or James Urban want this job, got to adapt and change this offense accordingly. Otherwise, you're out of here with Greg Roman, too, as far as I'm concerned. More names to get to here in just a second. But first, got a great deal we're offering Ravens fans. Get your Ravens jersey now, whether it's a Lamar jersey, a Mark Andrews jersey, a Dafe Owe, Ray Lewis. I mean, you can be rocking out with your flock out and representing the Ravens in a great way in all shapes and sizes, colors, whatever you're feeling. We have the Ravens jersey for you. Get yours now. www.chatsports.com/Ravens jersey to get yours today. That's chatsports.com/Ravens jersey. Few more replacement options. Bill O'Brien. Yes, that Bill O'Brien that used to be with the Houston Texans. Look, Bill O'Brien, I do not think is great when it comes to player management. He should have no business working in a front office ever again, but the guy knows offense. He's done a really good job as Alabama's offensive coordinator. His offensive schemes in Houston with Penn State, they were all good. I think he would be a breath of fresh air for this Ravens offense. He is being looked at for the Patriots offensive coordinator position to reunite with Bill Belichick there, so that's something to keep in mind. You might have to be in a bidding war for him, but I would more than welcome the idea of Bill O'Brien coming to the Baltimore Ravens. Todd Monken out of Georgia is personally my favorite pick to be the offensive coordinator for the Ravens. If I got to make that call, if I'm Eric DeCosta and I can choose anybody, Todd Monken's the guy I'm going with. Just coming off a second straight national title with the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, hell, he got Stetson Bennett 2 national titles, okay? I mean, that's a great job by Todd Monken to adapt. And what are we talking about? Adapting, right? Being able to work the vertical passing game while still running the football and creating that balance. Todd Monken has proven time and time again that he can adapt to the personnel that's on his roster and get the most out of it. I mean, you look at the offense that he ran at Oklahoma State when he's the offensive coordinator there, compared to what he runs at Georgia now, 2 completely different worlds as far as I'm concerned. And not to mention he has NFL experience too. Todd Monken should be that first phone call. And then there's Frank Reich. If Frank Reich does not land one of these head coaching jobs, as he's a candidate for, I believe, the Panthers job and a couple others here, Frank Reich got NFL experience. Frank Reich knows offense. I know things didn't end well in Indy, but Frank Reich potentially could be a fit there for the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm going with Todd Monken. That's the guy I want to see What say you, though? This is your chance to weigh in here on the Ravens Rundown. Who should be the next offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens? Let me know in the comments section. You can follow me on social media at Tyler Jones Live. Got plenty of conversation as the offensive coordinator search continues here. We got you covered. We'll see you next time right here on the Ravens Rundown.